Traditional short stories. In this module, you will analyze the elements of a story and write a traditional short story using well-chosen words and well-structured, sequenced events. We already know what short stories are. A short story is a brief, fictional prose narrative that usually deals with only a few characters. In this module, we will discuss about traditional short stories. So, what is a traditional short story? A traditional short story is a story that has been told and retold for many years and has consequently become a story that almost everyone knows. Most of them have been orally passed down through generations. They were written down later in around 17th century. As these stories were told and retold, and there was no written documentation for long, they have altered slightly with every retelling. For example, in various versions of the story Cinderella, the protagonist is variably referred to as Cinderella or Zazola or Cendrillon. Traditional stories are of following types: fables, fairy tales, folk tales, myths. Here, we will be discussing fables. A fable is a short tale to teach a moral lesson, often with animals or inanimate objects as characters. Even though the characters in fables are animals, the morals contained in the fables are about human nature. It is because of this reason that the setting, characters, and actions symbolize human qualities. For example, in most fables, the fox is shown as a sly and shrewd creature, and the owl is depicted as an old and wise creature. A fable has following creatures. A fable is intended to provide a moral story. It often uses animals as the main characters, presented with human-like characteristics such as the ability to speak and to reason. It personifies the animal characters. The Panchatantra is a very famous example of fables. It is a collection of various ancient Indian animal fables in verse and prose arranged within a framed story. Let us read a story from the Panchatantra and try to analyze the elements of a traditional short story. The Monkey and the Crocodile. Once there lived a monkey on a blackberry tree near a river. The tree was always laden with the sweetest blackberries one could ever find. The monkey was happy to enjoy the tasty fruits. One day, a crocodile swam to the tree. He was very hungry and tired as he had traveled a long distance. Seeing the crocodile, the monkey said, "Oh, Croc, you are my guest. I will feed you these delicious blackberries." The monkey offered a lot of berries to the hungry crocodile. After he had had his fill, the crocodile went home. The crocodile started visiting the monkey daily. They both became great friends. They often chatted as they ate the blackberries together. The crocodile also took some berries home under the water for his wife. One day, the crocodile's wife asked her husband, "Where do you get these fruits? They are so sweet." "I have never tasted such mouth-watering fruits ever before," the crocodile said. "I have a close friend, a monkey, who gives me these fruits every day." "Oh, the monkey eats these sweet fruits daily. Surely his heart must be as delicious as these fruits. Please get me the monkey. I want to devour his heart," said the wife. "My dear, I cannot let you do that. He's my friend. Please be reasonable," the wife said angrily. "I will rather die if you refuse to do as I wish." Worried, the crocodile went to the monkey and said, "Oh, my friend, my wife loves the tasty berries that you send for her daily. I told her about our friendship. Now she's anxious to meet you. She has invited you to our home for dinner." Please come with me. She is eagerly waiting for me to bring you home." The monkey accepted at once, but how could he go to the crocodile's home? He could not swim. The crocodile said, "Sit on my back and I shall carry you to my home." The monkey happily sat on the crocodile's back and the journey began. The two friends swam out into the deep, wide river. When they were far away from the bank, the crocodile said, "I'm sorry, but my wife wanted me to kill you so that she may have the good fortune of feasting on your heart." With great presence of mind, the monkey said, "My friend, if this is what you and your wife wanted, why didn't you tell me before? My heart is safely stored in the branches of the tree where I live. What is the use of your taking me home without my heart? Let us go back. Nothing else can make me happier than to be able to give my heart for your wife." Happily, the crocodile turned back and swam to the shore near the tree. The monkey at once jumped off his back and climbed into the safety of his tree. Then he angrily said to the crocodile, "How foolish you are! Don't you know that we carry our heart within us? You are ungrateful and a false friend. Get out of my sight and never come this way again." The crocodile felt really foolish. He had lost a good friend and a supply of sweet fruits too. The moral of the story is, use intelligence to win over difficult situations. The elements of a traditional short story are setting, characterization, plot, theme, style. The first element is setting. It tells the reader where and when the story takes place. The setting described in fables is something that the reader can easily relate to. For example, in the story The Monkey and the Crocodile, the setting is a bank of river that has a blackberry tree nearby on which a monkey lives. Hence, the setting is simple and can be easily visualized by the readers. The second element of a traditional short story is characterization. It means creating imaginary characters who appear to be real to the readers. In order to make the characters alive for the readers, the author gives information about the characters in the story, like how they speak, how they look, what they eat, what they do, etc. As already discussed, the characters in fables are generally animals, but they can speak and act like human beings. For example, in the story, The Monkey and the Crocodile is shown as a character who wants to impress his wife, and for this, he is ready to sacrifice his friend. On the other hand, the crocodile's wife is shown as greedy and selfish creature who wants to eat the monkey's heart, who had been sending sweet blackberries for her. The monkey is shown as a good friend who shares the tasty blackberries with his friend and also sends them for his wife. He is also witty because after realizing the crocodile's true intentions, he is able to trick him and save his life. The next element is plot. It describes a series of events in which the writer reveals what is happening to whom and why in the story. These are the little events in the story that lead up to make a complete story. The plot of fables is very simple yet interesting. As it teaches the readers some kind of moral lesson, the plot generally moves from thought-provoking to didactic. For example, the plot of The Monkey and the Crocodile story is very simple. There is a monkey living on a blackberry tree near a river. In the river lives a crocodile. The monkey and crocodile become friends. The monkey daily offers tasty blackberries to his friend and sends some for his wife too. The crocodile's wife expresses a desire of eating the monkey's heart. She threatens her husband to kill herself if he doesn't grant her wish. Sadly, the crocodile invites the monkey to his house for dinner. The monkey climbs the crocodile's back and they start for the crocodile's house. In the middle of the river, the crocodile reveals the truth to the monkey. The monkey thinks of an idea and says that they will have to swim back because his heart has been kept on the tree. When they reach near the tree, the monkey climbs back in the safety of the tree and saves his life. The plot is thought-provoking that many times people backstab their friends for selfish reasons. Plot has some elements of its own. These are exposition, conflict, climax, and resolution. Plot can be explained through a plot diagram. Exposition is the part of the plot that sets up the story. The rising action is the series of conflicts as the story builds. The conflicts are all part of the rising action. The climax is the part that has greatest tension in a story. It's like a turning point in the story. This is the most exciting part of the story, after which everything changes and all conflicts are resolved. The falling action comes after the climax. It is when the things start to fall apart a little bit. It reveals what happened after the climax. The resolution describes how all the conflicts are resolved in the story. Sometimes they are solved and sometimes they are not, but the resolution is the way a story is wrapped up. The fourth element is the theme. It is the most difficult of the elements to understand. The theme is the message that the writer intends to communicate to the readers by telling the story. The theme of fables is based on universal quality. The themes are obvious and straightforward so that the readers can relate to it. For example, in the story The Monkey and the Crocodile, the theme is that we should never backstab our friends, and also that in times of great trouble, we should act smartly and use our presence of mind. The last element is style, which means the writing style. As fables are directed towards a larger audience, the language and structure is casual and pertains to day-to-day vocabulary. Traditional stories have a lot of dialogues that move the story ahead. Now let's practice. Use the given outlines to write a story based on the theme. We should not give up until we have achieved our goals. Let's recap. A short story is a brief fictional prose narrative that usually deals with only a few characters. A traditional story is a story that has been told and retold for many years and has consequently become a story that almost everyone knows. Traditional stories are of following types: fables, fairy tales, folk tales, myths. A fable is a short tale to teach a moral lesson, often with animals or inanimate objects as characters. Elements of a traditional story are setting, characterization, plot, theme, style. Setting tells the readers where and when something takes place. Characterization means creating imaginary characters who appear to be real to the readers. Plot describes a series of events in which the writer reveals what is happening to whom and why in the story. Plot has some elements of its own. These are exposition, conflict, climax, and resolution. The theme is the message that the writer intends to communicate to the readers by telling the story. Style means the writing style of the story. The language and structure of fables is casual and pertains to day-to-day vocabulary. They also have a lot of dialogues that move the story ahead.